sometimes whatever people do to you, whatever people project onto you, is just a reflection of where they are in their lives. It's a reflection of where they are in their journey. And sometimes your light is just so bright, it's going to intimidate people. And it's going to make people feel like you shouldn't have what you have. So they might betray you. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the SoulFULL Circle Show. I'm your host, Flexi Lexi, and I think we're going to have a really great episode today. So as you all know, or maybe not, if you're new here, welcome to the family. If you're seasoned in the circle, then you already know we talk about all things healing. We talk about wellness, creativity, music, art, all of the things, whatever. But today, we're here, we really gonna do some healing today. Today we're gonna talk about healing from betrayal. I feel like betrayal is something that we have all experienced. If it's as little as you went to get some food and they got your order wrong, because that been happening to me a lot lately. I'm not even gonna lie. It's so heartbreaking. I had a whole experience with Chili's the other day. They got my order wrong twice. And it's partially my fault because I didn't look at my food. But I'm not just talking about that type of betrayal. I'm talking about things that are a little bit more serious. Getting betrayed by your friends, your family, by people that you absolutely love, even betrayal in your career. So many different types. I unfortunately have experienced all of these types of betrayal, and I have done a lot of healing from those things. There are also things that I'm still healing from. There's things that I might never fully heal from, but all we can do is try. So today I want to just talk about some of the tools that I've kind of learned, because healing from betrayal is very hard, like especially if it is something like you've been betrayed publicly or something like that. Like, it can be really difficult, but it's not impossible. And all of these things make you into a stronger, wiser person, right? So let's get into it today. So I think that the first thing to keep in mind if you have experienced some type of betrayal is that your feelings are valid. Never should you let anyone invalidate how you feel in a situation, right? And being betrayed comes with lots of different types of emotions. It comes with shock, it comes with grief, anger, confusion. These are all things that I've personally experienced when I feel like someone has betrayed me. I've done all of the, well, how could they do this to me? And I don't understand how this happened. I don't deserve this, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. But you have to keep in mind your feelings are valid, because when you be betrayed, a lot of times that person or whoever betrayed you, they're thinking of themselves. They're not thinking about you. So somebody has to think about you. Someone has to consider how you feel. And what better person to do that than you? So you have to be able to validate your own feelings. You have to be able to just realize that even sometimes there's nothing that you could have done different. Sometimes it's really not anything that you did. Sometimes it's all to do with that person. So being able to check in with yourself and say like, hey, I don't understand why this person did this to me, but I'm not going to let it impact my self-esteem. And that's something that I've also experienced, is just, wow. Sometimes when you get betrayed, it just really catches you off guard. Like, dang, it's really like a whammy. Like, you really don't see it coming. And it's really sad. And it's something that's really difficult. And personally, I had a situation where I was betrayed. Well, a few. It's not just one time. But there's been a few different times where I've been betrayed, and it actually impacted my self-esteem a little bit. It kind of made me feel like, dang, maybe I deserved this, or maybe they're right. Maybe I'm, whatever the case may be. And I faced one betrayal that has literally taken me years. It took years to heal from. And honestly, I don't think that again, some things just take more time to heal from, but yeah, I faced something that literally had me questioning my self-worth, because the people who betrayed me, I feel like did their best to kind of like make sure that I felt it. Like they wanted me to feel that. Oh my gosh. And I did. Like it literally took me years to kind of like, oh my gosh, I was just in this dark period for a really long time. I'm not going to lie. Like I really was sitting there like, dang, maybe I don't deserve everything that I've worked for. Like maybe everything that I've been like studying and working so hard for is for nothing. Like maybe I'll never be successful. Just all of these horrible thoughts were going through my mind for years. And I feel like I kind of wallowed in that for a while. And I let it affect my self-esteem. And for the longest time, it affected like how I showed up in different environments, from like friends to work environments to with loved ones. Just it really impacted how I felt. And thankfully, I'm in a place now where I'm just, I wouldn't say past it, but again, I've done a lot of like internal work, and after going to therapy and things like that, I kind of just realized, again, some issues that people have with you, it doesn't have anything to do with you. It's everything to do with them. Like sometimes your light, first of all, you should never dim your light for anyone. It doesn't matter how people feel about your success or your accomplishments or your opinions or whatever. Like you should never let that dim how you see yourself. And whoever has a problem with that, they're just going to have to deal with that on their own. But there will be times where people try to project it onto you. And people might even try to like stand in the way of your success. But at the end of the day, when our Creator says yes, nobody else can say no. Okay, they can try, but it's not going to matter. Like God will literally prepare a table for you before your enemies. I know that's something that we've all heard before, but it is so true. I cannot tell y'all how like that little dark period that I just talked about, and it wasn't little, it literally was probably about 3 years. God has like turned so many things around for me, and I'm just so thankful for that. And there has even been times where people who have betrayed me in the past have come back around in the future and either apologized to me or just tried to be part of what I'm doing now. And we're going to talk a little bit about forgiveness in a little bit. But yeah, like sometimes whatever people do to you, whatever people project onto you, is just a reflection of where they are in their lives. It's a reflection of where they are in their journey. And sometimes your light is just so bright, it's going to intimidate people. And it's going to make people feel like you shouldn't have what you have. So they might betray you. They might turn their back on you. One of my favorite Bible stories growing up was the story of Joseph. And if you aren't as familiar with that, basically the background of the story, you have Joseph. He was the youngest of, I think, like 10 brothers. And his brothers were jealous of him. Like his father had made him this really beautiful coat with all these different colors on it. And his brothers were just so jealous of him because, you know, the baby of the family, they began spoiled. So basically, Joseph's brothers ended up selling him into slavery. So for the next, please don't come for me, y'all. I forgot however many years Joseph was a slave. Well, he was an enslaved person. And he was, he also was blessed with dreams. So although he was in this like horrible slave pit, he has these great visions of like just the future and all these different things that God blessed him with specifically. And he was able to use his gifts to help people while he was enslaved, while he was in his dark pit. And because of that, he eventually became royalty. Now, y'all, please don't come for me. I forgot like the exact position that he was given, like some type of advisor to the Pharaoh or something like that. But eventually, the point is that he elevated from an enslaved person to a higher position because of the gifts that God had given him and because he stayed faithful. And he elevated even higher, and he ended up becoming the Pharaoh. And it got to the point where much later in life, years later, his brothers came around and they didn't even recognize him because he was like a completely different person now. He's royalty. And they ended up asking him for help, and they still didn't realize that he was who he was until he revealed it to him, like, hey, I'm your little brother. Y'all remember when y'all sold me? Look at me now. Getting paper. And, you know, they were like so apologetic, but Joseph chose forgiveness. Now, he could have like kicked sand in their face and been like, y'all, I don't got nothing for you. Goodbye, good night. But he didn't do that. He actually chose to forgive them. And because of that, Joseph was blessed. And here is the thing. I feel like forgiveness and reconciliation are two different things. Now, that's the story of Joseph. You should always forgive. It's very difficult. It is so difficult to choose forgiveness, especially when people have like really done you wrong. Oh my gosh, it is so hard. Like, I'm not gonna lie. There's people that I'm still trying to find it in my heart to forgive, because there's been certain situations where I've been just like hurt so bad, and I just could not for the life of me understand why people would do me like that. But especially when I feel like I show up with love and kindness, and, you know, maybe you don't like me or whatever, but it's hard. However, I have to find it in my heart to forgive, because I know that I've done things wrong too. I know that I don't always do everything right. And if I want God to forgive me, I have to choose to forgive others. Now, the thing with that, just because you forgive somebody, it doesn't mean that you have to reconcile with them. It doesn't mean that you have to invite them back into your life, because, you know, I feel like it's levels to this. Like, there's situations where you can kind of gauge and judge, like, okay, maybe I can give them another chance depending on what it was. And then there's situations where it's like, I'm gonna just forgive you and I'm gonna love you from a distance, and I'm just gonna wish you well, because you don't need to be back in my life. I'm not gonna give you the opportunity to do that to me again. And that's just that on that. And y'all, literally, looking back, I feel like every single significant betrayal that I've had in my life, the people have always come back in some type of way. Always. Like, they always come back, because I know I'm a genuine person, and I know what I put out into the world. And sometimes people just like can't take it, or whatever the case may be. Or sometimes maybe I did do something unintentionally to them that hurt them, and then they in turn felt like they had to betray me instead of just like, you know, trying to work through it. But it's okay. So yes, my whole point is that forgiveness is hard. It really is. I think it's one of the most challenging things that there is. But I also feel like that is why God calls us to do it, because God forgives us. Like, what? I want God to forgive me. I am so not perfect at all. And you get what you give. So if you're able to give that to somebody, then you'll get it in return. And that, I feel like, goes for every situation. You'll always get what you give. And if not, it's okay. You'll get it later. So that's that. Honestly, that's all that I really had for today. Just to reiterate everything that we've talked about, there are many different types of betrayal. There's betrayal between your family, your friends, your job, romantic betrayal. It's all very hard. Nothing is easy to deal with when it comes to betrayal. But the thing to keep in mind is that your feelings are valid. It really does not matter how this person betrayed you. You're going to deal with some complicated emotions. You might deal with shock, anger, grief, confusion, but you have to do what's best for you. There's been times where I've had to decline invitations to things that I actually probably wanted to attend, but I've had to decline invitations for my mental health. You're going to have to set some boundaries around the betrayal so that you will have time and space to heal the way that you can properly. Betrayal can also impact your self-esteem if you let it, but you have to do your best to not let it do that. Just know that, again, your feelings are valid. We also have to make sure that we have healthy coping mechanisms for our time of healing. So don't try your best. Let yourself feel what you're feeling, but again, just try not to let it impact how you view yourself. sometimes people's issues with you are just reflections of them and their own journey and where they are in the world, and it might not actually have anything to do with you. Like maybe they just see something in you that they're jealous of, or something that intimidates them, and they can't take it, so they have to like just betray you, unfortunately. But in those type of situations, you get what you give. So if you can find it in your heart to forgive somebody, even if it means saying goodbye to them forever, even if it means not allowing them back into your life and just wishing them well from afar, if you can find it in your heart to forgive them, you will be forgiven for the things that you've done, because none of us are perfect. Like, nobody is, unfortunately. So it's really important to just be able at some point to do that. And you can't rush healing either. That's something that I have really, really learned. Healing takes time. Like, especially if it's like a horrible, heartbreaking betrayal, it's going to take some time to get over that. And nobody can put deadlines or timelines on your healing. It's perfectly okay to say no to people out of love and respect and, just in the name of healing. And just always remember that you're never alone. Like, God is always with us. Always. Like, even if it feels like nobody else is there, oh my gosh, I'm trying not to cry right now. But it's like, there's been so many times where I just felt so alone after being betrayed. And I felt like just nothing was going to work for me. Like, I was helpless, basically. That's how I felt. And every single time I've been betrayed, they've always come back around, apologized, tried to slide back in, whatever. And God has always been he's always been by my side no matter what. So I'm so thankful for that. And yeah, so with that, let's get into the wealthy way for this episode. So if you're new here, the wealthy way is a segment that I end every episode on. It's just a way to end the episode on a positive note. So the name of this radio station is Wealthy Network, and it's spelled healthy with a W in front. And for me, that name just kind of embodies putting your best foot forward, doing your best to show up as a person that you're proud of, someone who's taking care of themselves, somebody who is trying to heal from their pain and things that they've experienced, making good decisions the best way that you can. That's the wealthy way. So for this episode, my wealthy way is going to be to not let fear of betrayal paralyze me. I've done that in the past. I have let my fear of being hurt and my fear of people doing me bold kind of stop me from living my life and speaking my truth. And that's something that I will not be doing. Going forward, I want to live a wealthy life. I want to be happy. I want to experience things, and I don't want to let my fear of people or my fear of hurt and pain and what people are capable of stop me from my purpose and my destiny. So that's my wealthy way. I'm not going to let my fear dictate how I move going forward. I'm just going to live my life and trust that God has my back no matter what. And again, every single time I've been betrayed, they always come back. So it's kind of like, whatever. So that is this episode of the SoulFULL Circle Show. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it. And I also want to put out there that we are hosting our first event on August 29th, 2025. I'm super, super excited. So we are working on releasing our second program under Wealthy Network. SoulFULL Circle was the first. The second is a music theme show called Sound Smoothie. And I'm very, very excited for Sound Smoothie. It's going to be a great experience. We have a wonderful vendor. We have a wonderful visual artist who's going to be joining us for the experience. And we invite everybody to just come and have a good time. And it's going to be a space for collective healing and movement. And we're going to listen to some good music. We're going to eat some good food. And we're just going to enjoy each other. We're going to have some good company. We're all going to be on one accord. We're all going to be wearing similar colors. We have a nice summer color palette that we're gonna adhere to, and even if you can't wear the color palette, it's totally fine. You can still come. You probably won't be able to be in the video because we are gonna live record our first episode, but it's okay. We still invite you to come and have a good time with us. Bring your mama, your auntie, your cousins, whoever you want to bring your boo. Just come out and have a good time. So the tickets are live. They are on our Eventbrite. Make sure that you're following us on social media at Wealthy Network. That's W Healthy Network. And follow me personally. Again, I am your host, Flexi Lexi. I will be DJing at the event. My handle is flexilexi.jpg. And on TikTok, I'm flexilexi.mp4. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope that you got something out of it. I hope that it healed you. If you would like, feel free to share it with a friend. Take what you need, share the rest. And I will catch you next time on our next episode. Stay positive and productive. See y'all.